Merrimack TV content may no longer be available on YouTube. To continue watching our programs, please download the Merrimack TV app from your device's app store. Programs may also be available at merrimacktv.com.
It's 6:30 p.m. Welcome to the June 9th Merrimack Conservation Commission meeting. We have currently two members absent. That's Andrew and Ellen. So Steve, can you step in for Andrew? And Ellen didn't email me, so she might be here tonight. She might be here later on. She might not be. So first order of business, let's just, because we have guests here, let's just go ahead and skip the first one and go right to Integra Biosciences Core. I assume all three of you are here for that, right?
We are.
Okay, I just want to make sure that one of you actually wasn't here for the first one. I wasn't just skipping you. I can take that, yeah. Actually, you'll need this.
Yeah, minutes. Thank you.
Okay, first order of business is Integra Biosciences Core. Review for Conservation Commission recommendations regarding a proposed site plan to construct a medical device manufacturing facility. The parcel is located at Daniel Webster Highway and Mast Road in the I-1 Industrial and Aquifer Conservation Districts, tax map 2D, lot 22.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Merrimack Conservation Commission. My name is Jim Petropoulos. I'm a professional engineer at Hayner Swanson Inc., doing business at 3 Congress Street in Nashua, New Hampshire. With me tonight is Brendan Quigley of Gove Environmental Services. Brendan is our certified wetland scientist on the project. And also with us is Matthew Ladd with Sakana Associates. Matthew is a construction consultant for this project, and he'll be with us throughout the permitting process. As the chairman just read into the record, we're really here to introduce you to a new project, and eventually we'd be seeking input to the planning board. But this is going to be a little bit different process. It's a rather large project, and I want to take the time tonight to introduce it to you. And I'll react any way you'd like, Mr. Chairman, but it may be one that may warrant a site walk, and I'd be happy to coordinate that and attend a site walk. It will have a New Hampshire DES wetlands dredge and fill permit, and eventually, as you know, you'll be weighing into the state on that permit process. That's all to come. I thought that this evening we would take this being the first opportunity to publicly present the project. I thought I'd open it up by just giving an overview. Brendan's going to talk a little bit about what wetlands he mapped out there and what they look like, and then answer questions. And then we can collectively talk about how we move this thing forward. But most projects that will eventually go to planning board, as you know, come here for input. And the garden varieties, sometimes there's no wetlands on the site, and they're pretty straightforward and pretty simple to comprehend, but this one's we thought would take a little bit, and so certainly don't want to rush anybody. With that said, I'd like to get started. Before I talk about the land, I want to talk about our client. Our client is Integra Biosciences, and Integra, and Matthew has been representing them from day one. It's a company founded in 2008, and they manufacture a wide array of medical devices that are used in labs all over the world, mostly liquid handling equipment. The company was on the front lines during COVID. Essentially, they make pipettes, which I guess for lack of a better description, if you ever used an eyedropper, it's the vessel that contains the fluid, not necessarily the squeezy part. But they make a lot of them, and they're used worldwide, and they have several other products that they make. They have 2 facilities in Hudson, New Hampshire. Hudson is their basis of their American headquarters. It's a Swiss-owned company. There's offices in Switzerland and Ireland, in Israel. And they're actually leasing space on Daniel Webster Highway, actually on the abutting property here in Merrimack, mostly for the warehousing of their product. Okay, so they're in 3 buildings right now. The company is growing at an exceptional rate, and really the need for their product is boundless. So, what is the reason that they're proposing a project? Simply stated, is to get those 3 uses really under one roof. Why this site? A number of key factors that went into this. As a business, probably their most important element was employee retention. Matt, how many employees they currently have? 150 or so? Yeah. Okay. So they wanted to keep those employees, and they wanted to be within a 10-mile radius, ideally. Railroad spur. You're going to see this evening a project. It's been a long time since I had a project with a railroad spur, but rail was of vital interest to Integra for delivery of resin products in bulk that are used for their processing. And then lastly, the height of the building, and in particular the warehouse, which is intended to be 75 feet. And as I go through the building, you'll see this is going to be a unique site arrangement. It's going to be a unique building. But it would exceed normal heights in a lot of communities. And so for those 3 factors, it really led Integra to purchase this 30-acre property here in Merrimack in 2024. So let me try to locate everybody. I brought an aerial here, and I'm going to use a nervous-handed laser pointer that might bounce around. This property is located really at the corner of Daniel Webster Highway in the southeast part of Merrimack. And then here's Mass Road right here. Okay. 3 lots make up the property. There's 2 single-family houses in the front and a larger parcel in the back that currently contains a contractor's yard. You'll see some of a portion of the site has been disturbed. It's used for earth material processing and stockpiling, and has been used that way for a number of years. And as I said, when together, it measures about 30 acres in size, and it is properly zoned in the I Industrial District in Merrimack. Our surrounding uses to the east
James.
is a railroad track.
James, I'm sorry, is that parcel 1, or is it 3 separate parcels that are going to be sold as one lot? Or sold as one lot?
Integra has purchased 3
Three,
independent
and so this is
lots.
the combination of all 3 parcels?
It'll be a consolidation
Okay, all right.
eventually, yeah.
No, I was just curious.
I think it's map 2D, I think it's.
Right.
what
Well,
is it,
yeah, right, there's one
22
map number, and you're saying there's 3
Yeah,
parcels. like,
22,
oh,
23,
okay.
24, yeah.
Okay,
So
perfect.
three parcels, we'll consolidate
Yep,
them.
thank you.
No problem. So to the east is the railroad track, CSX now. And across the railroad tracks, of course, is the wastewater treatment facility, which is accessed via Mass Road. To the south is the former Nashua Corp property that's largely commercially developed, industrial developed. There's several commercial lots along Daniel Webster Highway, and across the street we've got self-storage. You see Henry Clay driveway lines up directly across from Mass Road. Further north, you have BAE across the site, across the street. You have off the sheet, you have Anheuser-Busch. You have a couple commercial properties, Crow's Nest Drive here. And then, of course, land you're probably familiar with is conservation land located directly across of Mass Road. Matt, could you grab the next board, please? So this property was surveyed by our company in 2024. I want to talk a little bit about the topography. I included a copy in the graphics I sent to you. One of the unique things is it's fairly flat up along Daniel Webster Highway, but if you've ever traveled Mass Road, you know Mass Road kind of dips down and got a real serpentine feel to it. Grade up front's about elevation 175, down low's around 120. So there's about 55 feet of grade change just in the western half of the property. And then, of course, it falls off even further for a water course that we'll talk about in a minute, further to the east, and there's some upland there along Mass Road. Predominantly sandy soils. I'll give you the quick overview of what Brendan did, and then I'll turn it over to him in a few minutes to do a little bit deeper dive. But in terms of wetlands, we've got a large red maple swamp located right here in the main body of the property. And it's hydraulically connected with an old culvert right here into this scrub shrub wetland here. It's kind of been dammed up by beaver activity through here. And eventually it breaks out and flows into a stream with associated wetlands, and eventually crosses via a culvert underneath CSX into the Merrimack River to the southeast. So those are kind of the existing conditions of the property. We have the necessary utilities to service a project like this in Daniel Webster Highway. I'll talk a little bit about that when I introduce the site plan. So Matt, if I could, one more time, we'll go to the site plan. So what's being proposed for Integra is, as I said, to bring those 3 facilities under one roof. And in doing so, it is to create a multi-story facility measuring 420,000 square feet upon the property. Its associated site improvements include parking and loading and access that I'll go over in just a second. The main body of the building includes both a heavy and manufacturing portion of their business. When I say heavy manufacturing, it's the manufacture of that product, and then the lighter is some of the assembly that goes with it. This is not a heavy manufacturing where you're thinking Pittsburgh in the early 1920s with smokestacks and foundries and things like that. Again, they make that pipette product, so it's a fairly small product. Above manufacturing will be offices. We have a large warehouse in the back, about 150,000 square feet. And in this corner right here, it's proposed to have an integrated structure parking garage. You'll notice on this, you're probably looking at it saying, man, where's your parking for all this building? Well, the Swiss like keeping parking in a building. They like not having big seas of asphalt. And so we thought the integration of all these components would help with the topography that we need to overcome, which is, as I mentioned here, about 40 feet of grade change from here to here, and they'll do that internally within the building. Let me talk about a couple site features. Access off of Mass Road here in the front to a very small parking lot, maybe 25 spaces, and for also those FedEx and UPS type drop-offs that'll occur. There'll be a lobby entrance here at one of the upper levels, but the access will also serve as an upper access than integrated parking. There is a lower access that is primarily used for the warehousing. They're not a big trucking operation. I would say on the average probably two to four trucks per day, so it's not a big warehouse or distribution type company. There's also a lower access into the parking garage as well. We're proposing for life safety access to get around the building here as well with pavement, but that would be gated, okay, and only used during emergencies. Initial estimates, if we're successful, that they would open the doors with about 225 employees. The full build out of the site is approximately 395 employees. Over 3 shifts, they operate 24/7. You'll notice the railroad spur I discussed. A train traveling northbound would then get off rail and would back down in, and we have a small bank of silos here, which they will offload their resins into the silos, and then the resins can be vacuumed into the building for distribution through the manufacturing facility. As I mentioned, utilities were fully serviced with the utilities that are there, which is fortunate: sewer, water, gas, power, telecommunications. We've had introductory discussions with all utility companies, and they can provide service to us. Stormwater. It's always quality and quantity. With regard to quantity, you want to make sure you're not taking, in this case, the large roof area the loading area and even the small parking in front, and in creating a discharge that would adversely impact anybody downstream. We don't see that as being the case. We hope to collect our stormwater here, provide treatment in several different areas of the site where we can. We want to take advantage of these upper sandy layers here, so we'll likely have a recharge component here. But down low in the back, we're going to collect, and we'll have 2 surface type practices here. Okay, vegetated stormwater practices with an outlet here. And our point of analysis will be the culvert, and we'll look at a pre-development and compare it to the post-development. With regard to wetland impacts, you'll recall when we showed you the topo map, we had the large red maple swamp right in the middle of the site. We do have 6 impact areas that I'm going to walk you through. And they total 107,785 square feet, which is roughly 2.47 acres. So it is a large impact. Prior to the purchase of the property, we had a pre-meeting with DES officials and asked them, we presented the notion of Integra developing this property and asked them if it was feasible, and well, they said, of course you need to prove your case. You need to discuss how you avoid, minimize, and mitigate. And we're prepared to do that in an application to them that eventually you'll see. But let me just walk you through quickly through the impact areas, and I'll start, we go A through, I think, A through G, I guess. A, B, C, D, E, F, A through F. So the first one is the stream crossing of the railroad spur, okay? And so we have high ground on one side and high ground on the other side, so how do we cross? And we're going to cross with an 8-foot by 12-foot box culvert and a prism of fill here with 2-to-1 side slopes. So we've tried to minimize that as best we can. Constructing a rail bridge to go from high ground to high ground is not cost feasible at all. It was asked of us to look into by DES, and we'll need to present and include that in part of our application to them. But this area here, impact area A, is around 14,420 square feet. Impact area B is a small tip of a wetland here, and it's a result of the construction of that life safety, that fire access around the building. So there's a very small impact here. The largest impact, of course, is impact area C. It's that red maple swamp located right in the middle of the site, totaling about 82,750 square feet. We have, it's probably about half of that red maple swamp that we want to look at in the field with you folks. Impact areas, there's an impact area D, which is close to this red maple swamp right here. It just nicks kind of an edge as a result of a drainage outlet. There's actually an 18-inch pipe from Daniel Webster Highway that dumps onto this property. We're going to have to pick that up and run that over into this direction, and that outlet impacts about 2,200 square feet. That's impact D as in David. And then the last two have to do here with the access off of Mass Road. There currently is an access there. There's an undersized culvert. It's really not wide enough or safe enough to accommodate, a loading dock area such as ours. And so by widening that, we have impacts on both sides, about 3,000 feet on one side and 2,200 feet on the other side. Before I turn it over to Brendan, just for a couple more in-depth look at some of those wetland areas, mitigation. We're really here to listen, Mr. Chairman, about mitigation. I don't know what your thoughts are. Clearly, the ARM fund is a process that's available to us as an applicant, DES was interested in our approach using ARM, but we haven't made up our mind yet. We're here to talk to you folks about it. We always find ourselves as applicants in that tug of war between the state and the local on mitigation. You know, the state loves the ARM, and locals feel like, yeah, it's a good program, but sometimes I don't get much back from DES. I don't know how this commission feels about it, but we can certainly talk about it this evening. And if you have ideas about small projects or things in town that you'd like us to consider, we would be happy to take those under consideration. We know we've got a big permitting effort ahead of us. You know, we're going to end up through this process. We're going to probably go introduce the project to the planning board shortly, but we'll eventually have planning board, we'll have zoning board, we'll have DES, we will have the Corps, we will have a number of permitting elements to this project, fish and game, alteration of terrain for stormwater. And we're just gearing up for that. Our timeline is to introduce it to you this evening and take the next step. I think we're coming back here for at least another meeting. I would like to, after we've had a chance to submit the dredge and fill package, so you get to see it all in writing and everything. But then we will move forward, hopefully, in the balance of 2025. So with that, I'm going to let Brendan talk briefly. Matt, I don't know if you can put the existing condition. What plan do you want to use?
Just something that shows the wetlands as clearly as
Yes.
possible.
So the existing conditions, you could put the survey back. No, the topo. Yeah.
Do you have a general timing? Like, what do you think, you know, if everything was smooth, what would be the kind of timeline of this project?
Yeah, so we've actually been at this for a little bit, trying to get prepped, getting the surveys, getting, you know, the boring information, having Brendan do his thing. But big projects like this take time.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, you know, if we were fortunate to be ready for construction in spring of '26, I think we'd be doing quite well. Yeah. You got to turn your mic on.
All right. Good evening. Jim introduced me, but for the record, I'm Brendan Quigley. I'm a certified wetland scientist in New Hampshire with Gove Environmental Services. Just trying to remember, I don't think I've actually been here anytime in the recent past, although we've done lots of work in and around Merrimack, which is one reason I'm pretty familiar with for anyone, and I imagine you have probably visited a lot of wetlands in this sort of landscape position, which is on the upper terrace of the geologically speaking of the Merrimack, where you come off a very steep slope and it levels out and there's wetlands. It's very typical for this type of area, and that is the origin of the large red maple swamp that is really the predominant resource area on the property. Similarly extends north of Mast Road, although it's less disturbed. This particular area, of course, has been disturbed on either side by the contractor's activity over the years in uplands. In addition to that, there's some very small areas that sort of originate at hillside seeps, but are separate from the main body of the wetland. But ostensibly, that's the same type of area. Red maple swamp, skunk cabbage, fairly classic, very wet area. The other main resource area, which you can kind of divide into a couple different wetland types, is the stream and beaver dam area just to the east of that. And this again also, sort of water for this originates in addition to groundwater, but largely from the wetlands north of Mast Road. And there's some pipes connecting this area to those wetlands. The beaver have intermittently and probably historically built dams in this area. So that's an area now where you can see several large dead trees. It clearly was forested in the past at some point, but now, currently, well, I haven't checked it in a couple of months, but as of this spring, there was very little impounded water level there. But it's a mix of scrub, shrub, and emergent areas. And of course, in a number of weeks, it could be virtually a pond again. Just below the Beaver Dam, there's some wetland associated with the stream there too, but it's primarily a stream. And this is another sort of characteristic feature down close to the Merrimack, where it's almost like a ravine type feature. Part of which is caused by the railroad tracks, which are much higher above it. But that is a rather large watershed. It's not actually even shown on the USGS map, but its watershed is, I think, over 300 acres. It is likely a perennial stream, and that's one of the features that's being crossed for the railroad spur. That really sort of, I know there's more impact areas that can be described separately, but that's really the gist of the wetlands on the site, is those two areas. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we'll probably have more opportunities to talk about wetlands, and as Jim mentioned, if there's a desire for a site visit, we'd be happy to do that. It's generally pretty helpful, I think.
So with that, we're going to push pause and try to answer any questions you might have and talk a little bit about what direction. Maybe not put that. Sure.
So,
I told you at the beginning, this was a little different.
I guess I'll direct this at the wetland scientist. Are you aware of what species are currently utilizing this area? I mean, there's some we can assume. Are there any?
Yeah, I mean, we have done an NHP report and had some preliminary discussions with Fish and Game. I feel like I should have printed that out. But there's the common turtles that show up. I believe spotted turtle is on there and Blanding's turtle. And although it showed up on our NHB report, a hognose snake was actually across the river.
Okay.
We haven't done any detailed wildlife studies.
Okay. But Blanding's turtle was noted.
I believe that was. I don't have a lot of documents prepared that I would have printed out to bring with me.
Can you send them to us post?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine you'll get the full application
Yeah.
that we were just discussing with targeting. Like Jim said, we've been at this for a while.
Yeah.
I think we're finally at a point now to move with the application, so you'll see something soon.
Okay.
for that.
I'm not sure there were any direct hits on the property, but
Oh, yeah.
as you know, if something shows up to the north or something, it's still
Right.
considered
Yeah.
it. So.
Right.
I think the dredge and fill permit generally lays out all those findings, doesn't it? Sure.
It will be included in our application, which you will get copies of, and as I said at the onset,
So there's
we're gonna let you get it and review it before we ask you to make a comment on it.
I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I would very much like to do a site visit to see in person. Yeah. It looks like there's a lot of areas on the property that aren't gonna be used, by the company. If there are areas that have been impacted, would you consider bioretention as a way to manage, water runoff and to maybe sort of add back some of that wetland supported habitat?
I think so. You know, we haven't really got into the final details of this. You know, the alteration of terrain regulations are pretty stringent, and they've become science projects if to an old buck like myself. But, you know, we need to do testing to make sure we've got the layers between the bottom of the practice and seasonal high water. I suspect there'll be combinations of infiltration practices and, you know, detention practices as well. Any disturbed areas in and around this side as well as this side will all be reseeded with a conservation mix and let to kind of naturalize over time rather than closely mown lawn areas. I suspect we'll have that along the front. We're going to try to do recharge. Matt's exploring rainwater harvesting on the roof. We're not exactly sure how much that can take because it's a big roof. It's 8 acres. And that type of harvesting is great for smaller events, but on the bigger events,
Yeah.
you know, it's
last weekend.
right. So
Yeah, please.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just, can I make sure you're at a microphone so we can hear you?
Yeah.
just hand the mic back there.
Or that one.
Matt Ladd. Couple things. Real big is, I did the lead evaluation and early on. And, one of the things with the site, we wanted to make the least impact. So instead of, like, we're going to spend a lot of money on that parking garage, a lot of money, instead of doing a large parking. Likewise, we have 2-story glass office buildings with connector bridges and vegetated roof for the upper levels. So we have, and if you've studied LEED, what we did was make a very congested building. But it works. It took a lot of effort, but we really did try to minimize the impact. And, as for, to Jim's point, we are carrying through some of the flows for stormwater, greater than normal, just because of past events. And we would like to try to do the reuse for all the stormwater. I was successful in doing that at Newton North High School for irrigation, and we can, on this project, we're going to look at trying to limit irrigation to like the size of this room. And we're looking at doing wildflowers in the front area up towards, so that we can take care of a lot more of the insect life instead of just relating to turtles and everything. And that landscape plan is, I think it's going to be ready this week probably. But to your point, there are a lot of open areas. That was on purpose. It took a lot of effort. We want to reduce the impact on the site, so thanks.
Thank you for talking about that. I'm really glad to hear that you've considered like what you're doing with the areas that you're not using.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to see it just left and not taken care of.
Yeah, and it gets back to not only that, but I don't know if you're, well certified for building and sites, but that's another thing, is making sure that we whatever is left, it'd be nice to have as much flora and fauna there as possible. Because it's actually healthier for employees, if we had little walkways around, but,
Meeting the open space requirements in the industrial zone are pretty simple to do. To Matt's point, we've got considerable amount of land that'll remain in its natural state, really along the easterly border, the northerly edge along Mass Road, certainly along the remaining wetlands here. 340 parking spaces in the integrated parking garage. That's roughly, takes about 4 to 5 acres of surface pavement to replicate that. So if we wanted to do surface parking, we'd be looking at paving the whole front along DW Highway. We could be looking at some sort of even satellite parking with, access ways and things like that. So Matt's 100% correct, and it's always been Matt's vision and goal is to kind of condense this as best we could. It still results in a sizable impact, I get that, but I would ask you to keep an open mind about it. And again, I go back to the 3 reasons, the 3 elements that brought them to this site is employee retention within 10 miles, the railroad spur, and the building height. And when you put those 3 together and throw them in a database and say how many sites are available, there aren't any. And Integra would not be able to build this facility in New Hampshire if they couldn't meet those criteria. So.
Sorry, one more quick statement. Sorry. And I know Jim's going to kill me after, but we were looking to try to start site work in December, and that may sound. But this company was critical during Operation Warp Speed, and also they were critical in keeping UNH open. So with that, and that we are going to have more zootonic pandemics coming down the way, as well as now with NIH funding cuts, we have no more personnel monitoring around the world before people are getting on planes. So the concern is, this is supposed to be the start of the campus for this facility. We already went through that one pandemic a few years ago. We would like to be poised for the next one. And yes, a little concerned that, now we will not potentially know until it's too late that we have a pandemic. So part of the railroad, that's another means of getting not only product here, but we can get it into shipping containers and get it on the railroad to other places in the U.S. What did the United States lack during the pandemic? Pipettes. That was it. Pipettes. Well, I ended up having to go 7 days a week to get a facility up and running in Hudson in 4.5 months. That's a clean room, a class 10,000 clean room during the pandemic. Now, hopefully, we have a little more time, but certainly for me, I would like us to be up and running as soon as possible, just having gone through the last pandemic.
I have a couple questions. The area where the beaver are, that is not impacted or is impacted?
I'm sorry, the area what?
Where the beaver, the swamp on the top side?
No, that'll be untouched, right? We're making an edge here for our access in, but primarily, this whole corridor is beautiful. You own this land right here. The town owns the land to the north, drains back through this way. So that big part of the site will remain.
And a question about the manufacture. Their pipettes, I'm assuming, are plastic. Is there any sort of waste? There's no discharge of
There's no
into
industrial
the air, no
discharge.
discharge into the
Yeah.
water?
Yeah, Matt would know better, but in terms of sanitary sewer, there's no industrial discharge into the treatment plant right next door. Matt, any processes, noise, air?
No.
None?
No, it's they reuse anything that's it's thermoplastic injection molding. So any of the resin that's left over, they reuse it. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you could just repeat that, thank you.
Yeah, so the process has very little waste, and anything that's left over, they just reuse. But they have no, there's no discharge of any products at all.
Thank you.
What about, yeah, please state that, because you're going to answer this. On-site storage, any potential spill hazards, anything like that we're looking at?
We're looking at 2 storage silos for plastic pellets, and they really wouldn't, I can't imagine them, unless somebody ran into the silo. But there's no traffic back there where we're going to put the 2 silos, except for emergency personnel, if from Merrimack.
And they're pelletized, you said, so it stays
Correct.
stays as hard plastic and just vacuum fed or something like that?
Correct.
Okay.
Matt, I think he's asking about inside the building. Is there any chemical storage, any flammable storage, any materials like that inside the building?
No.
So you say they make other products. I mean, this is if you're doing injection molding and pipettes, that's it. So just other injection molded products?
Right.
And so heavy manufacturing does the pipettes. Light manufacturing, which is going to be on the 2nd floor, makes these handheld plastic guns. It's, say,
The filling guns.
yeah, so you'll have like 16 pipettes attached to this gun with liquid measuring. So it's for doing research.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the business, the process is injection molding, all the products, regardless of what they are.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this probably isn't a big concern, but is it just plastic pipettes, or do you also make glass pipettes as well?
No glass.
Okay.
You gentlemen have spent a lot of time here already. We talked a little bit about mitigation. I know it's early. The state does wonderful things with the ARM fund, but boy, would really
Yep.
love to see some mitigation opportunities at the actual site, if there were some. And I don't know if you know that already.
Well, what would you have in mind, sir?
I don't know the property well enough.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of curious about the timeline, because we're gonna have to
Yeah.
have to go get some idea of what the size, the value size is going to be. I mean, are we talking about, a wetland of 100 feet somewhere? Or are we talking about a property?
It's
So-
hard to visualize without actually
Yeah,
seeing
right,
it.
right.
I
So,
hear feet and acres, and I'm like,
yeah, but then you gotta look at what DES says is the equivalent.
Yeah, notwithstanding review of some of the actual ideas, what's very likely to happen here would be a dual approach, a package that's going to involve some ARM fund. I think it would be extremely difficult to meet all the mitigation requirements, the thresholds, on this site, or even recent experience, on another site nearby. It gets very complicated. That doesn't mean that there's probably not some good things we can do, either at this site or in town, which may or may not count for some small portion of the official mitigation. That's, one of the other, that's sort of the push and pull that Jim referred to.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you're absolutely right. I mean, the ARM fund, we love it, but we'd rather stay local, because when all that money goes off into it, it doesn't always come back in that same type of exchange, so.
Well, we would welcome your ideas.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would take them into consideration. As Brendan just said, it's a balance point for us with the DES process, but mitigation can come in a lot of different forms, and I'll just say that because your ideas may be something you think is not a great idea, but it's something you want, and if we can work it in. We're approaching this as we would like to do something local. We can't commit to that until we really know what it is, but we understand how it works. Brendan and I have been doing this for
Wow.
I think 1984 is when I started coming here to
I was in high
Merrimack.
school.
So, we would like to try to do something local, but I don't think we can do it all local. You know, the state's gonna want something.
So it seems like everyone here is interested in the idea of a site walk.
Yep.
Great.
If you want to guys do this as fast as possible, I mean, I could, probably can't schedule anything tonight because I'm sure everyone has to like look at their own schedules, but,
Should that be timed around when we receive the dredge and fill permit application? Or sooner?
I think it would be helpful if we did it beforehand, actually, so you can kind of see it. And then once you receive the application, you'll say, oh, yeah, I remember you said that in the field, or I remember looking at that, or you can take pictures, of course. You know, being in the latest days of the year, I don't know if the commission's preference is to meet at you know, I hate to take anybody's evening, but, you know, at 6 o'clock, we could do a quick walk. If Saturday's preferred, we could always do Saturday, but we really serve at your leisure.
We have our phones, which means we have our
Yep.
calendars. If we wanna look.
It's actually a fairly easy site. I would suggest we meet down off of Mass Road. We can pull in to that existing driveway, have safe pull-in, and then we can really kind of walk around here, and we can get the flavor of this as well as all this stuff. So it's, in terms of accessibility, it's,
Yeah, it's not a huge hike through the woods.
yeah.
And there's not much to be gained from, you know, hiking up the steep hill or anything to
Right.
the highway, so.
Yeah, you can see the
can
see the
see
front
it.
of the property from the highway, sure.
Yep. I mean,
I have no conflicts for the next couple of weeks. I don't.
I mean, it'd be great if we could do it during an evening or something like that, you
Yeah,
know?
if we could do it before July, would be great, because we'll be gone much of July.
Last weekend of June, I will be gone, so I can't do it any time between the 27th and 30th.
There's only one day I can't do it, and that's the 19th, so.
What about next Monday?
That would be Monday, the 16th.
That works for me.
What did you say, Monday the 16th?
Monday, the 16th?
That works.
Is there a general address that we
Is-
can?
Well, it is Mass Road. The property's not addressed because it's land. But, you know, Mass Road is.
Do we
if you
have to
put in
wait till
Mass
next
Road,
week?
it'll take you right there.
Can we-
Just come down off the
it's on Monday
DW,
now.
we'll meet down there.
Say it again?
Do we have to post it? Depends how
Oh,
many of
Yeah.
us show up.
Yeah, we do, yeah, we're gonna have to post it.
So do we have to wait, how long do we have to wait for that?
I think it's 72 hours, so it should be fine if you.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
because there's no
'Cause
agenda.
there will be a quorum.
And there will be no
Almost
decisions
certainly.
made, so it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, we're gonna be discussing, business.
Yes, but not making main decisions.
She's gonna kill me.
Uh,
My wife, the 16th.
Looking
Yeah,
at
sure,
the
I'll get it.
satellite image, it looks like there's like a currently existing, like a sort of a dirt path that goes down to, it looks accessible. Is that the one we should be going down? That's a little zoomed out, but yeah, you can see it. That one right there, that's,
Yeah, that's exactly where
oh,
we
we should
would meet.
access it.
Yeah, and there's plenty of room to pull in there and park.
okay.
Same right here?
Yeah, that one.
We can circulate a small figure of, you know, where to meet and what we're looking at. An aerial photo that's a little closer than
Yeah.
that, maybe.
Yeah.
I can do the 16th. 16th works.
Yep, 16th should work for me.
16th,
Yep.
6 PM.
6 p.m.
Wear a lot of mosquito spray, long pants, and, I don't know, I'm thinking a whole thing.
That's like a beekeeper.
Yes.
Karis, is your microphone on?
Nope, I'm sorry. I plan on dressing like a beekeeper.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's good. I did just have one last question that I mean to ask. I believe it was impact area D. You said that there were, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I think you said there were pipes coming from beneath Daniel Webster Highway and that you were gonna be rerouting them or rebuilding them,
Correct.
so in a different place. Could you just point like general spot on the map where those pipes are going now and where they're gonna be
Well, that
rerouted?
18-inch pipe just dumps water right here.
Okay.
I think it was part of the highway improvements, and actually it works down kind of a, I call it a draw, but a little kind of natural swale into this location here. Unfortunately, it's right kind of within the limits of the building. We want to bring it into the same wetland, so we're just going to kind of hard pipe it down the hill into this
Okay.
location right there.
Okay, and just to be clear, you and I are looking for any immediate recommendations to the planning board, nothing like that?
Not at this
Not-
time.
not tonight.
I mean, Mr. Chairman, you know, at the end, you know, when, you know, we've walked it, we're back here discussing it, we've talked mitigation, when you feel comfortable, you know, we'll ask for the, you know, a vote. But not tonight.
Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure that
Yep.
I wasn't going
And
to.
I believe that we're gonna request a conceptual discussion with the planning board over the next month or so, and have the same presentation essentially with them, just to introduce that to them, kind of going at the same pace.
Okay, any more questions?
Well, I thank you very much for the opportunity, I thank you for the time.
Yeah,
And
thank
we'll
you.
see you,
Thank you
we'll see you on Monday.
Yep,
6
see you.
p.m.
Okay, that brings us up to the next point of new business, which is the appointment of an MCC representative to the Hazard Mitigation Committee. Now,
When do they meet?
so I got a call from the newest member of ComDev this weekend. I forgot her name already, so apologize for that, but that was on Friday. She said, so she like gave me some more background on what this position was. So they generally meet about once every 2 months, and it's midday usually. So anyone who has like a full-time job might not be a great idea.
Do they mind 2 kids?
That I do not know. But what they're looking for, because they were worried that the position was going to sound more intense than it actually was.
Okay.
So the Hazard Mitigation Committee, they're really just looking for someone for the Merrimack Conservation Commission that they can sort of bounce questions off, ask questions of, basically about the area around the Merrimack River, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so this isn't really more like a full-time member of the committee, but rather just someone that they can depend on to ask questions of. So just someone who knows the water around the area, knows the land around the area, and has time to answer questions like that.
Gage, you have loads of time, right? 'Cause
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
sleep?
That's true.
But yeah,
They
so
said they meet in the middle of the day.
that's what I was told, yeah. The meetings are midday. I've tried to look up the Hazardous Mitigation Committee. I don't know, maybe it's a full-time job for these people. Like it's,
Well, not from the,
I looked at the document that was attached. It looks like it's, you know, it's a hybrid of all
right.
local, you know, the fire department's involved, highway safety, the police department.
And look at the members, and then it's their,
Yeah.
you know, like Don's a member, and the
Mhm.
police chief, and so it's people that have day jobs.
It's weather-related emergencies,
Hence they need-
droughts,
Yeah.
you know, extreme heat and cold.
I mean, they want a permanent member, or they need a representative from the MCC. I mean, we can try it, see how well it goes. If it's not gonna work very well, then someone else will have to go.
yeah, so
You
It
know what I mean?
wasn't-
If it's like, you know, if I can't make it next Tuesday, can you go?
I mean, logically, that should be all right. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if like there's anything like written in stone that it has to be the
Yeah.
same person over and over again, or like how regularly we can just change it up. So I would have to ask questions of ComDev. I know the next meeting of this is in July, the Hazardous Mitigation Committee.
July what?
So
July what?
I don't know. Yeah, it was over the phone. It was Friday. So I will ask ComDev, but we do have another meeting, at least one more meeting before the next one, so I could ask them more specifically questions of that nature.
What do they do? Like, why would they need to know about the land around the Merrimack?
It sounded like we had a copy of the existing hazard mitigation plan.
Okay.
That was
And it-
2021?
Yeah,
Oh, was this
every
in the
5 years
digital?
it has to be
Yeah.
updated. So not all items have to be updated, but it's just a general 5-year refresh of
I
that
mean-
document.
Yeah, I'll do it, but, you know,
It did say in one of the emails that there was not an expectation that our representative attend every meeting. There's going to be.
Yes, I was told that in the phone
Yeah.
call as well, that, yeah, you might not have to attend every meeting, you just about being available to answer questions and concerns that they might have. I can put you, Gage, down as like the tentative
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
but, and I'll ask ComDev. Just a few more questions specifying it a little bit more. ComDev is probably just so mad that I just butchered like our conversation. That moves us on to next new business, which is materials for awareness campaigns submitted by Karis.
I guess it's more like discussion of an awareness campaign, and then I brought materials. So I wanted to propose us doing an awareness campaign around invasives, especially knotweed. That would involve things like yard signs and stickers, yard signs not actually being in yards, because when you're driving past a yard you can't read, but like, you know, where you would see, maybe, I don't know where you're allowed to put them, but I would imagine where same places political signs are allowed to be posted, a lot of them, and at conservation sites, or at our properties, like in the kiosks or nearby, giving away stickers. I have some examples here that I will hand to Steve, and then I will pass the other way.
And you really should giving it up because it's got to stay as part of the notes now.
That's
Okay.
fine. It's from my computer, so I have it, you know, unless my computer disappears. So I guess this would actually fall under education, because it is education of the public. But like, Facebook goes only so far, because not everybody's on Facebook, and not everybody sees the posts, even if they are on Facebook. But especially around knotweed, which has is very sensitive to how it is managed, touched, dealt with, and if people don't know how to do it, they don't know how to do it well. Issues of people putting invasives into town compost. In some towns, that has led to the spread of knotweed. So no matter how hot they get, apparently, it's still a risk. So letting, you know, maybe having signs at, is that my phone ringing? Having signs at the transfer station, about this. So yeah, thoughts, comments, ideas, objections, go.
I think it's a good idea. You did a good job putting together that talk at the library about the invasives, and I think that was eye-opening to a lot of people that were in attendance. And a lot of them were saying, why haven't we heard about this? Why don't we know more about it? So I think the more we can get the message out to residents, the better.
Yeah, I think that the waste department would be happy to have that. I mean, because they want people down there using that fill. They want that composting
Yeah.
down there, but they don't,
They want it done right, too.
they want it done right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would be probably well received.
Just something to take, just like a possible concern would be, to people who are like brand new to plants or just aren't well studied in plants.
Yeah.
They all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
So just make sure that it's very clear that what is invasive, what isn't. So,
Yeah.
to a lot of people, knotweed might look like anything else to
Right.
them.
So maybe, so yeah, let's think about that. So,
But also you have to make that clear without making the graphics themselves too busy.
right. Well, and I was
So
working on that.
It's a balance.
I was using AI to create them, which I checked. You do not need to cite ChatGPT if it helps you create images,
Mhm.
or graphics. I had it redo the burning bush a few times because at first it just gave me a bush on fire. Then it gave me a bush that was red. And then I'm like, okay, here's a picture of burning bush. Take that general idea and make a clip art. And it did.
Did you try putting in the scientific name?
I did.
Okay. Still did.
It just gave me a red bush.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's human learning too. Figuring out like that knotweed, that could be almost anything in that image. So
Mhm.
I asked it to go through concrete. But like,
Were we adding descriptions and pictures to the website?
yeah, I've been working on a page that I'm gonna, a page on invasives information for locals that I'm gonna give to Andrew, and he'll make a page on the website for it.
So you could add a QR code to signage, so rather than trying to list everything, you could have the QR code for people to scan to go to that webpage.
Very good idea.
Because I know Google Lens or Google Search, you can take pictures. It does a pretty good job of identifying whatever plants you're looking at.
So eventually there will be some amount of costs related to this. I know we have a printing fund. I have a question about that. Does it work for any sort of printing, like printing signs? Or is it just printing paper? Because that would come out of our ComDev fund.
Yeah, I
51.
mean, you mean the printing fund that we have with ComDev?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was, I originally just designed for like paper and
okay, for
ink.
brochures.
But it's a printing fund, I guess.
Could talk to them about that.
We don't, they print this. This is what they,
Yep.
this is what the offset's supposed to be, so if,
So I can ask, and they'll probably email me after this with an answer. Email all of us with after the answer. Because if we don't use that for other, I know that we have not in the past used that because printing brochures was done by.
the maps and stuff were done.
Right.
Yeah.
Have we learned if they're gonna print them for us again? They
No,
continue.
we have not.
Okay.
That's
I would
my
want to
fault.
find that out before we used these funds for that. I do know that stickers, which are a good way to, like, you have a invasive, or you have a table at an event like we did at the school or in the winter carnival, and you hand out stickers that are about like individual invasives. It's a good way to spread information because everyone's stuck at a light behind someone's bumper at some point. And I think people like having the stickers, and it makes them feel involved in spreading awareness. They cost between 50 cents each, and it depends on the size. Like if it's for a water bottle versus a car, they can cost like $1, 50 cents to $1 each, which is, I don't know, it's expensive to buy a lot of those, but we can talk about that at some point. That's all I know about it so far, is looking at, that's what I've looked into so far.
Did anyone else have anything to add to that? Okay. Moving on to other items of concern. Next is the ongoing discussion regarding potential education opportunities. Anything new from anyone?
Okay. We last week, Eric and I went to the Reed's Ferry end of the
Family
year
Fun Night is what
Family
it's
Fun
called.
Night Fair, and that was fun. We handed out a lot of these. I will pass these around. And also, it would be, okay, so this is a scavenger hunt that I made, which requires people to go to every property in order to complete it. There's no prize for completing the scavenger hunt, but, you know, they can post hashtag Conservation Commission or whatever, or they can send it to us if they want to, with permission to post it on Facebook. Assuming everyone is okay with that. That is one reason I'm bringing it up now, to make sure, like, you guys fine with, they give permission the same way they would if they gave us photos on the website, and then we could post them or put them up on the website. Are there any issues with that I'm not aware of?
No, I don't think there are any issues with,
Okay. A lot of families were really interested in it.
mhm.
We also handed out the flyers for the composting event in
Mhm.
September, which I know it's early, but please take however many your subcommittee property has spots for, and bring them and stick them in the thingies, the boxes.
Kiosks.
That's it. Kiosk. I can never remember that word.
I actually wanted to bring a pile of compost to the Family Fun Night, but they
Yes.
said no.
You did say that afterwards, and I was like, I did go to an event where they brought worms and some vermicompost, and I was like, I'm skipping that table.
You like worms?
I don't. Junie loves worms. I do not like worms. Other education stuff. The Garden Club has invited us to have a table at their plant sale on July 19th. Which I think we would do a lot of the similar stuff. They suggested, you know, native and invasive information, which is a lot of the materials that we had up at the school fair.
Yeah, that would be a good place for the invasive, yeah,
Yep.
that'd be great.
I made up a big poster that we used the other day. Although it was mostly kids there, but we got a few parents interested too.
Mhm.
If you're available to come to the July 19th table, that would be awesome.
Where?
It's 8 to 1. At
St. James?
St. James, yeah. Let's say, where do they do it? July 19th, it's 8 o'clock to 1 p.m. Can tell you right now, I probably can't get there by 8 a.m. Maybe I can.
July 19th.
Yes.
That's a Saturday.
Yeah. It would be great at that point to, yeah, spread the word about. Yeah, if you have any information, I can put materials together on any particular native species or invasive species that you would like us to educate about, communicate about. Don't buy this, don't plant that, please get rid of this.
What, is it, starts at 8 a.m.?
8 a.m.
Okay.
to 1 p.m. that's it, I think, for education materials. Reed's Ferry did say they asked, would we be interested in coming again in future years, and we said yes. Any opportunities to educate, right? To connect with the community. We got a lot of people to scan our QR code, so hopefully they...
Yeah, there was a lot of interest. Hopefully not fake interest. Maybe they were just being polite, but I think they were interested. There was one person who did show interest in joining the commission in the future or doing some sort of work with the commission.
She said she was studying environmental science
Yes,
right now.
yeah. She was asking about internships, which, we don't have internships,
Yeah.
but
But you can join.
you can volunteer. Volunteering
Yeah.
is a lot like an internship, really.
We'd love
Some
more
internships.
members. Yeah.
I lost my agenda. Oh, there it is. Okay, if there's nothing else on educational opportunities, then we can move on to,
Wait, yes. I need you to connect me with that school board member.
Okay, yep.
Because I don't even know their names, so
Yep,
I
I
can't.
did. And I sent them an email, and he never. I just assumed he'd gotten in touch with you because
Oh,
I sent
no.
him your email,
No, he didn't.
and I just said, "Oh, okay, here you go. Here's the first round." So, I will pursue that again. Sorry.
Thank you so much. That's it for that.
next up is ongoing discussion regarding security measures at SCLAR.
Okay,
Uh,
so,
Yes.
yes, I forwarded you all an email because the pictures and information on the cameras did not get printed. This last Monday, I wasn't there, but I got an update from Michael Druin, who was at the meeting, about, they discussed the camera options that were presented by,
Bowens.
by Jake Bowen. And they discussed, what they wanted to. Wait, were you there, Tom?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Tom, you talk. I just realized.
One of the participants was participating from a distance, so we were kind of like trying to hear him over his phone. He had come up with a suggestion. I'm gonna stumble over this a little bit. He was looking for something that you could access, a camera that you could put out and access with Bluetooth, so you didn't have to worry about getting a SIM card, not a SIM card, but like a card out of it. You didn't have to worry about retrieving the camera from wherever it was going to be. So we kind of left it that we wanted to look at that option as well. And I don't think that's one of the options that we've been given by, I can't remember the guy's name, but
Jake Bowen.
I've looked into it a little bit.
Speaking about what was discussed on Monday and given the present options, am I correct in repeating Michael said that you guys were thinking of if we got 2 cell phone, or requested that the commission approve 2 of the cell phone cellularly capable
Yeah,
ones and 4 not cellularly capable.
right, like a combination.
Right.
Yeah. right.
Okay. So what he offered us here, and one of these may not be available anymore because at the time he sent this, there were only 7 left in stock and they're not restocking them, is some of these game cameras have cellular capability. You have to purchase a cell plan and it's $10 to $20 a month per camera, which is a lot for 6 cameras. So what SCLAR subcommittee discussed or requested is a combination, asking if the commission would approve basically, or I guess preemptively sort of approve that if you approved 2 cellularly capable. Okay, let me try this again. The cellularly capable cameras are also SD card capable. So they don't have to be cellular capable. But I think the idea was we'd request 2 of them so that if we decided, the commission decided at some point that cellular capability would be the best option, given you can't steal the SD card or it's sent straight to your phone immediately, so, or over Wi-Fi. if the commission eventually decided that that would be beneficial, then we could present a cell phone plan for the cameras. But either way, they would be usable just as game cameras with an SD card. So they wanted to request 2 cellular capable and 4 non-cellular, approval of 4 non-cellular capable. Are you guys following this? Okay.
Has anyone talked to the police?
Yeah. They said they can't do anything unless we have cameras, and their game cameras will not stay up. And they would like to know, like, when. They'd like to know when things happen and where things happen, and we can't predict it.
So who's gonna be monitoring these 24/7 so we can?
So you look back at them after something's happened.
Right.
Or you check the SD card every few months, and I would think someone on the SCLAR subcommittee would be doing that.
Just so we're clear, cellular capable, does that mean that we would have access to the camera regardless of where we are?
Yes,
Okay, just because my mind is.
if we paid for the cellular
If we,
plan.
okay.
Are you able to shut the sound off,
They do
on
not.
and off?
I believe they do not collect sound.
Okay.
I
I would recommend if they do get purchased, that maybe at the next meeting we talk about a policy of what's the policy and procedure, who's checking it, how often,
Yeah.
that's all set up.
And so I know from Robert Price that he said they just have to know who has access to the cameras. So who has access to the SD card, and that's what they need to know, and that, yes, it can't
Everybody who
collect
knows
sound.
where the camera is.
Say again?
Everybody who knows where the camera is.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, here's the town census. There you go. That's who's got access to the SD card.
Yes.
I mean, you can't.
Well, unless you're putting it up so high, nobody can reach it,
Right,
but then
that's-
you're gonna
that's-
have to.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah.
so anyone, okay, now anyone with a ladder. So that's gonna be a huge list.
I mean, our hope was to camouflage them.
There was a suggestion for a ladder.
And put them up ladder
The
high.
suggestion for the ladder was, we've got a ladder in Greater Woods. I've checked on it, it's still there, the ladder. So take that
Take
ladder.
that ladder down.
In fact, that's a few ladders. I mean, we wouldn't put them in plain sight. We would camouflage them, we'd do our best, and we'd also point them at each other. So even if they got one, they might not get the other. And then we'd catch them, which would be nice.
But, and so since they do trigger and save those files, like if we did catch like if someone did take down one camera, they would be caught on it.
Yeah, and if it-
Hopefully with an ID, I mean,
Provided you could get down the other camera before they took it down.
Well,
If they
if it's,
noticed-
not if it's cellularly
Right.
capable.
Right, if it's cellularly capable, then it doesn't matter if they steal it, because we have evidence of them stealing it.
You just might have it triggered by every bird that flies through.
Well, you will.
Yeah, it will.
They already do.
And
Pinged
those
all the time.
images can be posted
Yeah.
on social media. Hey,
Well,
look!
until the cameras are moved, not until the cameras are moved, because then people can triangulate where the cameras are.
And hiding them isn't the
True.
easiest thing, especially this time of year when there are leaves on trees. I mean, you've got to have a clear field of vision.
Right.
Or else every time the
It
wind
won't see.
blows the leaves,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna, I have one in my backyard and I took 20 pictures of myself mowing my lawn. You know?
Yeah,
So it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's gotta be open enough, but if they're open,
right.
if someone's
Yeah.
willing to move boulders and cut down signs, they're willing to take our game cameras and throw them
Right.
in the Merrimack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, I'd love to think that this is the silver bullet that
I don't,
solves
I
the
mean, I
problem
don't
down
think
there.
it solves
I think
everything.
the silver
I think
bullet
it's
is,
just an option.
people need to, when you see something wrong down there, you need to call and tell the police you're seeing the wrong thing. I don't know if we asked how many of those calls the Merrimack police have gotten, but every time we've asked in the past, the answer's usually been none or a
Every
very small
time,
number.
no.
I
we've
believe there
called.
has been an uptick in calling
Has it?
activity
That's great.
in the
Yeah,
past year.
But every time we call, they say, we can't do anything without,
Well, that's a different issue. Yeah, because they can get a call, they can go drive by.
yes.
But
Yeah.
if they don't, then we need to just, we go to the town manager and ask them about, what's the enforcement policy? How do we get this to go forward?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some pros and cons of the cameras. But are we willing to try? Even if we said, we'll let you donate less cameras, fewer cameras, just donate 2.
I think that makes sense,
Yeah.
not to waste money if we
Right.
try it out and see.
Yeah, see
Is
what
it getting
happens.
triggered all the time by, like Steve
Yeah,
said, by
right, let's
leaves
see.
blowing? And I know mine at home too, the grass grows a little too high and then it's just going off all the time.
So can I suggest that we request no more than 2 cameras to be donated?
With or without a cellular plan?
With cellular, mostly because the other ones aren't available anymore. And the cellular are also valuable with SD cards.
Of course, if we do this, then we're gonna have to go before the council
Yes.
to authorize the acceptance of this donation.
Yeah.
And I assume we would have to appropriate funds for the monthly.
If,
Cell plan.
we don't have to do the cell plan. They are SD
Oh, 'cause they
capable.
do both.
So if we put them high enough, we could try and see.
We have to vote on buying SD cards.
Yes, the SD cards do not come with it.
Mhm.
Are they just regular SD cards? Like any old SD card?
Yeah. Just have to find out there's different sizes, but yeah,
Okay.
like physical sizes.
I mean, I might literally have an SD card.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure we all probably have them. I got them on my phone.
If it's
But
used,
it's
it
just
doesn't
a-
have a value, right? I can just,
No, it's a drive.
yeah.
And you can erase
Yeah.
it and write over it.
Yep,
So it's just a matter of getting the one that's the right physical
right,
format and size for that device.
and big enough.
It's
Yes.
probably a micro SD or something like that.
What should we vote and see how we are currently feeling about?
My position is that, even if it costs some money, I'm willing to at least take the chance and see if we can find a solution with this. If it doesn't, we're not talking about thousands of dollars, we're not even talking about really hundreds of dollars, depending
Right.
on how long we want to do this. We're talking about dozens of dollars.
Yeah,
I think it's worth the investment, even if that investment doesn't come with 100% success. That's my opinion. I would definitely try like a trial run of 2 cameras.
mhm,
So,
It's kind of like, we won't know until we try.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
We have a lot of possible what ifs,
Yeah, and we gotta start
That'd be
somewhere,
simple.
so.
right?
have you noticed if there's a time of year where vandalism is higher than in other times of the year?
That's a good one. I don't
That is a
know.
good question.
'Cause I just wonder if we do want to focus on saving as much money as possible, maybe we would time the purchase around a certain time of the year.
Or just time putting them up at a certain time
Yes,
of
yeah.
year. I mean, I cannot ask our eyes on the ground whether it's noticed that.
If there's been an uptick in calls, that may be also a seasonal
Yeah,
uptick.
Yeah.
So we could.
okay. So I'm gonna move to approve the donation of 2 SpyPoint Flex M cellular cameras.
Can you give me that one more time? What kind of, just give me the kind of cameras.
SpyPoint Flex M cellular camera.
Get all that, Tom?
2.
And so if we approve this motion, then we would then go through to the town council and
Thank you.
what is the process? So we argue that we should accept the donation, that they should sign off
That
on
they
our
should
acceptance of the
approve our
donation?
acceptance.
Okay.
I'd add the dollar amount also to your motion.
Say that again?
I would add the dollar amount to your motion.
Oh,
The expected,
So,
yeah, the expected.
the expected price
The
is
expected donation would be a value of X.
$122. It does say prices are good this day. So is it
So
allowed to
we-
be an
we-
estimate?
An estimated value of under $150.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, okay. Thank you. That's what I needed.
Okay.
Does anyone second the motion?
Okay, so what's, you do wanna, okay, so we said 2 spy tech cameras,
Spy point.
spy point cameras, expected value of under $150,000, under $150.
Oh!
Still technically true.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, but this is the Price is Right.
and this is, and now, and we're also going to have to, before we can tell them we're gonna accept this, we have to get permission from town council. Is that
Correct,
right?
I believe so.
yes. You do.
Yes.
I mean, you could, technically you could purchase them first, but it probably makes sense to
Really?
have us approve
Well,
it first.
If we have, if we're
I mean,
gonna,
you-
if we
yeah.
purchase them, we don't need anyone's approval.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just buy them.
We just buy them,
Yeah. You-
so, and we're gonna buy the SD card, so.
Okay.
Is there a
So-
second?
Are we purchasing? Is that what we're doing?
No.
We're not?
No, donation,
motion
but we
is
are
to
listing a
accept the
value,
donation.
Okay, okay,
because it is a donation.
okay.
For brief information, Michael says graffiti and general vandalism uptick when school's out. Moving rocks and cutting barriers happens all year.
So graffiti is probably the teachers, because they're off, so.
Yes, I know, just letting out steam. You can't blame us.
Okay, so, but is there a second
I'll
to
second
the
it.
motion?
I'll second
Okay,
it.
Tom. Any further discussion on the acceptance of the donated cameras? Okay, all in favor of the motion? All opposed? All abstaining? Motion passes 6-0. And next in the process, do I submit it to town council? Do you, Jennifer, submit it to town council?
Yeah, I can. That's
Okay.
fine.
Just the front.
Up next,
You can finish your sentence.
oh, now I don't want to know what this is.
It has to do with your next sentence.
Finish your sentence, and this is it.
Oh, I lost my agenda again. Okay, here it is.
Sorry.
Update on TerraCycle boxes is the next item of concern. Karis?
Yes, okay, so, I think I said, no, maybe I did? No, I didn't. Okay. The last point we were at was I was gonna set up a survey to ask people where the most logical drop-off would be for them, most helpful drop-off. And they mostly said the library, exit 10, exit 11, somewhere near exit 11, and Shaw's on DW, which I think there's a Hannaford at exit 11. So, I mean, a grocery store probably. I did have a few people suggest the dump, but I want to repeat that there are plenty of people who do not go to the dump because they pay for pickup. So it's, and if they don't go to the dump, then they're not going to get a sticker. So it's really not helpful for a lot of people for our TerraCycle boxes to be at the transfer station. So,
Do they all need to be at one location?
no, and in fact, we could have multiple locations.
Okay.
But, well, could we?
I don't know, that's why I asked.
Actually, I don't. No, I think it has to be one location because we tell TerraCycle the location so that they add it to their map.
Okay.
So I think it would just be one location. So obviously the library is helpful for a lot of people. The library doesn't have a lot of space. And I think we would want the boxes to be indoors. Much like the grocery stores sometimes have the bag recycling just inside the doors. So we could talk to the I could talk to the library, and see if they would have space, but they're pretty tight. It would have to be like.
Do you know how big the boxes are?
We can use any box we like.
Oh,
So, and then we just ship it in that box, ship it however. The only place in the library that might be good for, say, hold up, maybe that one wasn't even on here. I was gonna say the squeezable snack pouches, if we wanted to do that, that might be convenient outside the kids' room. If the library doesn't have any issues with putting a box outside
I don't
there,
think
but-
you can put anything there for fire codes.
Yeah.
And you can't even
Exactly.
put anything like under the stairs or anything, so you
Yeah.
can't put anything in the hallways. I don't think that
Yeah,
would
so
be
I
an
think the
option.
library might not be a valid option unless we did like outdoor boxes, which
I mean,
that's gonna be an issue.
there's space in the vestibule, like they collect the eyeglasses there, but I don't know how big.
Yeah, there's
you're
not much
looking
space.
at.
There'd be space
Yeah.
for like a little, yeah. So I was thinking of, we could talk to Shaw's or Hannaford about whether they would be willing to put up boxes for us. Are there any issues with that? Obviously, I wouldn't talk to them without.
So this, the back piece here, this is the results of your survey.
Yeah, 50-person survey.
And this is what they said they wanted to get rid of.
Yes, these are the things they felt they would benefit from recycling.
So, so the recycling, it can't be all of these items though, we have to pick.
No, sorry. This goes back to a previous conversation. It was mostly the oral care packaging and the shaving tool packaging. Currently, oral care packaging is not available. Electronic hair tool, they can recycle that at the yearly, is it Rotary Club? Lions Rotary Club.
Yes.
So I think that one's a little bit redundant, although you do have to donate to do that. But and then the other thing would be the squeezable snack pouches was the next highest. So right now we can be on a waiting list for oral care product recycling, but that program is currently full. So it would just be the squeezable snack pouches and shaving tools and packaging.
Would Shaw's agree to having people bring in their dirty sharps and throwing them in a box?
Well, that would be something to ask them. Yeah. They might if you didn't phrase it that way.
Do you know, Karis, so say we have a full container of shaving packages.
Yeah.
How does it get back to the end site where they're recycled?
So once it's full, you send them, you select something in your website login, and they send you the packing slip. And you tape it all up, you stick the packing slip on it, and you bring it to UPS.
And they pay for the shipping?
The program does, which is funded by companies.
You're saying it's a box. The Bedford Middle School, High School on Nashua Road, I know that they have a TerraCycle. It's almost like a dumpster that's actually outside next to a regular dumpster in the parking lot.
Oh, really? It's TerraCycle?
I'm pretty confident it is. I mean, I drive by it every day, so I can take a look tomorrow. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not quite a dumpster, but it's like right next to a dumpster, and it's sort of colored the same.
Okay.
I
I believe
can take a look to see if it is TerraCycle, but
I know that you can purchase their containers. I don't know the cost. I mean, I can look that up. But. I can answer that at another time.
yep, yeah, we don't have to answer everything Just trying to think of other places that might be good.
Good and well.
I just have one, again, I, sometimes I'm writing stuff down and I don't hear something else that was said. The two that we're going to, try to collect are the shaving tools, and what was the other one?
Drinkable snack pouches. They like contain applesauce or baby
Okay. The
smoothies.
squeezable, okay,
Yeah,
got it, thank you.
of any brand type is allowed.
So look, but it's not a juice box, not the cardboard.
It's not no, because those are recyclable in regular recycling.
On their own.
Yes,
And plastic ones aren't?
plastic ones are too. So these are like, well, these are not recyclable in regular recycling. They're flexible plastic, and they have a hard top and a lid. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea. My youngest child's 25.
They're like toddlers, right? The little
Yeah, they're
ones
like,
that
you
toddlers
see them at the
squeeze.
checkout at stores. These. They are very popular because they are very convenient.
And they're not recyclable now?
No. I think they're multi-layered plastic.
Oh.
Which makes regular recyclers deny them.
You know what's easy in recycling is? Stop buying non-recyclable
Yeah.
containers.
I know, but they're so convenient. Oh my
You're part of the
god.
problem.
Oh, Steve. But you'll never stop it because there are always foods that you can buy and you can't recycle them. Yes, but where do you buy your rice in? You buy your
Cardboard.
rice, do you?
Yeah, cardboard box. There's like two of us. We buy a little container of it.
And it's not in a bag inside that box?
No. The rice? No, it comes out of the box.
You're part of the solution.
Okay, well, Whole Foods does not sell my chickpeas. No, actually they do. They do not sell my dry black beans. So find me a giant box of dried black beans to feed my children.
I wasn't challenging you.
No, I'm saying the market doesn't offer me other options at the moment. I do write letters.
There was that cool market that it closed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
In
If I had
Bedford,
known, they needed to market it better. If I had known about it, I'd have been there every week.
It was cool.
Well, probably not, because bulk. I mean, you are correct. This is a free program. It costs us nothing except somebody a little bit of effort and a partnership possibly with a grocery store.
On that note, another place I think might be decent would be where there used to be a Shaw's. I think it's Merrimack 360 Plaza or whatever they call it now, but where they got, let's see,
The Tuckers is in there and.
Hayward's Ice Cream, Trampoline Park.
Beer Nation.
It would be great if there was
Molotai,
someplace inside.
There's lots of places inside. I mean, it's like 8 different
Like
stores. 16
Tucker's
different
doesn't
stores.
want you walking in
Yeah.
to recycle your stuff.
I can't imagine any
But
business
they're
wanting you to
seniors.
bring their trash.
Is the senior citizen, location, is that a possibility?
Oh, next to the library?
Yeah,
I can look into that. If the library's convenient, that would be convenient. I think that's owned by the town? Is that
It
owned by
is.
the town?
Yeah.
What's it called?
John O'Leary Center.
I can find that out.
Yeah, I'd also look into outdoor containment, TerraCycling containers, just to make sure that those aren't available for free preferably, but, you know.
Yeah, or for a a price that
Reasonable
wouldn't be
price.
all that bad.
Is there anything else to add on TerraCycling?
Nope.
Okay, just one more item of concern I'm just gonna add here. The annual meeting is coming up in, I believe, 2 meetings. That's the first meeting of July, I believe. I prefer not to remain on as chair, and I've also spoken with Ellen, unless you changed her mind in the past couple of months, She's also not gonna have time to become chair or even remain as vice chair. So if anyone would like to volunteer themselves for one of these two positions,
I already have.
I have. I was gonna keep that secret because I didn't want the media to hound you, but yes. So Karis has volunteered for one of the two positions. If anyone else would like to take on one of the other positions, that'd be fine. I don't really have the time to be chair. I could be vice chair if there are no options. But yeah, so keep it in your mind. If you want to become chair or vice chair, let me know and think about it for the next month or so, because annual meeting, I believe, is in July.
I think it's the 14th.
July 14th, yeah.
I will not be here.
Okay.
Totally voting you in.
That's true. That's actually just probably made you more likely get voted.
Big mistake, dude.
And on that note, Tom, are you willing to stay on as secretary, or were you hoping to pass that on to someone else?
I was hoping to pass it on, but I'll do it for one more year if nobody wants it.
Mhm.
If anybody is like anxious to do it, I'd be glad to give it up, but I can do it for one more year.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Anyone who wants to be secretary, chair, or vice chair, think about it for the next couple of weeks. And yeah, Andrew's not here too. We can volunteer him for stuff.
Yeah, right.
I volunteer Andrew for secretary.
Yeah, he was secretary of Wildcat, wasn't
Perfect. He already knows how to
Okay.
do it.
he? So we're all in agreement. Andrew will be the secretary. No, he will have a choice. He does have a choice in the matter. But yeah, did anyone else have any items of concern they weren't able to get on the agenda but would like to talk about?
I just have a few updates.
Right.
You guys remember we had Scout Tucker Landry come before us with his Scout proposal for his Eagle Scout project for Horse Hill installing benches. So he did come before the town council and it was unanimously approved. So I did connect him with the Assistant DPW Director about the Eversource easements, and he let him know that that's 85 feet from the center line of the power lines, so he'll need to measure out both sides of that and make sure, adjust his plans if he needs to about where the benches will go. And I did connect him via email with Ellen so that hopefully he can coordinate with the Horse Hill Committee. Second was, at the last meeting, we voted on purchasing or approving over $1,000 for the Fields Farm plan. And we talked about, was that over the limit for having to go out to bid? So going out to bid is anything over $1,000. So I don't know if you've acted on anything, Steve. So I know you had trouble getting foresters. So it's supposed to be 3 bids. You have to at least attempt to get 3 bids. So if you didn't have anybody else that responded to you, but I think you just need to document that, and I'm not sure if we need to contact the finance department about that or not. So maybe talking with community development about that.
Okay, I can. I did reach out to others.
Right.
So I'll give that information to them.
And then lastly, the first meeting of the Watkins Forest Committee is going to be this week on Wednesday. If anybody has any comments or concerns you want me to bring to that, I'll give you an update. I went through all the materials for the meeting, and there's no formal plan yet. That's what we'll be looking at, the contract. And they did kind of an informal walkthrough, and I just have notes about that. They are aware that there's possible well construction for the Mitchell Woods gauge that you had mentioned. And they do say Mitchell Street continues to be the preferred access point for that. So I'll have more information for you guys at the next meeting once we
Did they give you the type of invasive?
No,
They
that's,
did not.
I will ask that.
And also, I mean, I believe we're kind of in agreement. It's like, that should be one parcel, managed as one parcel. If
Yep.
they're gonna go in there and do a cut, I don't see why there's any reason we can't cut Mitchell
Yeah, I
and Watkins
definitely have
together.
that on my list
Yeah.
to talk about. Like I said, there's no formal plan yet. They call it a harvest design,
Mhm.
and that'll be the next step. That sounds pretty detailed. They mark trees, they go through and decide, there's certain areas based on the soil where they won't go into and disturb. So there's a lot more to be done on it. It's just, I think the initial thing is going through the contract and just finalizing that we will move forward with that forester. So I'll definitely bring up, having them look at Mitchell Woods as well.
I did reach out to that forester.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the ones that I had previously contacted, and I asked him to, if, whatever, when he submits a proposal for that parcel, to do ours also. And he agreed.
Mitchell,
Yes, Mitchell.
yeah, okay.
And did he respond to
Yes.
that?
He
Okay.
said-
So I'm not sure if he needs to, and I'll bring this up during the meeting, is that it's like two separate contracts that I think we need to sign. So he may need to amend those to include Mitchell Woods, or we might need a separate, I'm not sure. So I'll bring back more information after the meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, because we'd love to know where and what invasives, because if it's stuff that we can go deal with now, we can get it out of the way.
Okay, so I will make sure that that is on, that the Watkins Forest update is on the agenda for the next meeting,
Thank you.
which is June 23rd. That, unless someone else has a concern?
I also have something. More like a clarifying question. So I sent an email out. I asked DPW and Parks and Rec about potential collaboration on knotweed management.
Mhm.
They said, well, Parks and Rec said, do we have knotweed on our property? And DPW said, we don't have money, which is not surprising. So I have a question. If it is public property, we have town council's permission, are we allowed to spend conservation money on managing invasives near essential habitat like wetlands? If we have areas of concern, like along the river at Watkins Park.
Mhm.
Because according to my understanding of, I messaged back and forth with one person about this. One of our callings, one of our jobs as a conservation commission is protecting natural resources and watershed resources for the town of Merrimack. To me, that says, as long as it's public property, if it's like along a waterway and town council.
Property we don't manage. We don't
Right.
actually manage.
Right, but is town
But
property.
it's town property, okay.
So.
Then that's
uh,
resources for the.
Watson Park, then,
Right,
yeah. I mean,
and
the-
along, we have a few places along the Busick that town owns too.
I can't imagine that we'd get shut down for
Okay.
proposing that.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
would this be comparable to us managing state property on Wildcat? Is this comparable? I mean, because I know it's local versus state, but I feel like it's the same in principle.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe,
'Cause we manage that land.
definitely.
And if there is,
We buy seedlings every year and give them away to the public.
So,
So, I mean, I just can't imagine there'd be any problem with that.
okay,
But I would also think that if we're going to do that, that we should be able to go to the town and say, pony up.
Yeah.
We're gonna take this on, we, as a partner, we want some participation.
oh yeah, I would insist that they participate and help
Yeah.
in identifying areas but I don't know that they would submit any money.
Well, so the
But what
DPW,
else is
did they just say, oh, we have no money, or they say, yes,
Well-
we can do it, but we just don't have the funding
Our
for it?
funds for this work are very limited, so we might suggest we are willing to pay for most of it if you will
Yeah, if
pay
they-
for some of
If
it.
they can support manpower.
Okay, so do I have permission to contact Dawn Tuamala and ask if the Conservation Commission were to potentially pay for the majority of this, would you collaborate with us on it in identifying locations?
How much money is the majority, though? 'Cause
I think we need to be very careful
Are
about.
we like getting
Yes.
professionals to come in and perform
Yes, it has to be
service?
professionals. And I don't know, because I don't know how much, I don't know the areas, I don't know the extent to which we would be spraying.
And they'd be spraying for invasives?
Specifically knotweed,
Not weed, okay.
because this is something that you just can't manage
So there,
this
so
any other way.
there's something about knotweed, that like you can have a spray that doesn't harm the rest of the environment, but does
There,
target
I
knotweed?
looked up, there are aquatic sprays that are
Hmm.
considered, that are licensed, but only to professionals. You cannot buy it at Home Depot.
Yeah, I think we will need like some sort of price estimate, at least a range
Okay.
of how much we actually be spending.
So if I go to a company, I guess they would tell me, like, we would spray for an air, they would tell me,
Yeah,
like, an idea,
they
okay.
give you some idea of the cost.
Okay.
I would think, well, you'd have to go back and see if it's gonna match up with today's dollars, but we did pay, Bay State Forestry to spray.
Yes,
So
according.
somewhere we have,
According to their, oh, we have records.
we have a record
somewhere.
of what we paid them.
Okay, so I can also find that out.
I have just one other quick
Hmm?
thing. I've already alluded to this before. I went by that deer stand in Greater Woods after June 1st, which is the day it's supposed to be removed. It's still there. I don't know if anybody, it sounded to me like Andrew was doubtful that Fish and Game wanted to take care of it. It also sounded to me like Gage was willing to climb up there and get rid of it. I don't know if that's even like, I don't know if that's a safety concern for the town.
During the last meeting,
Yes, I'm
in our
done.
minutes, it says he was going to reach back out to Fish and Game to see,
Okay,
to ask them
okay.
first.
It is still there. I just know that if you fall from there, it's gonna take a long time for you to hit the ground. It's gonna take a lot longer for you to get up.
And kids are stupid. Until they're 25, that part of their brain is not fully developed, and they do stupid
Yeah.
things.
And it would have to be
Did you say that was
disassembled,
under
it would have to be
25?
disassembled, you have to take it apart from the top down. I mean, obviously, you can't take the bottom part off and then and get to the top, so I just think it's a major job.
Are there any other items of concern? Okay, then we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I second that motion.
Okay. Discussion. Any edits?
One. Just one. On line 91, we need a homophone for 4. I'm not looking for sources, I'm looking for sources.
Can you say that one more time, Karis?
Line 91, the word
Yep.
"for" is misspelled.
Oh, look, okay, 4.
Wrong kind of "for."
Looking for sources.
Okay, got it.
And I have 2 minor ones. First page, line 31, designated Commissioner Perkins to sit. And then, page 6, line 255, it says expects to have a finalized plan. I just like finalized removed because the,
261.
No, 255, sorry.
255.
Yeah,
Finalized.
just remove the finalized.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I got a few on page 3. Line 92. We did not work with Granite State Forestry, we worked with Bay State Forestry.
Bay State.
Yep. Line 101, it's pollinators, it should be plural. Pollinator should be plural.
Want it to be what?
Line 101, pollinator should be plural. Plural,
Oh, plural, okay,
sorry.
okay.
127, that, you asked if we recorded sound, and my answer was we did so at Greater Woods when it first opened. We've never recorded sound.
We didn't.
We did not. We've never recorded sound.
Okay.
So I think this whole paragraph is a little askew. We've never recorded sound. We did record video at Scalar when it first opened, and we have also recorded video at Greater Woods when we were having a vandalism issue. But
Was it just the police? Like, recorded
Which?
Sklar?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So this is when Scalar first opened, the police set up cameras for us,
Okay,
and they did the recording. So we have also used cameras in Greater Woods for vandalism, but that was not, Greater Woods was not part of this conversation, I don't believe.
okay. So I won't even include that.
I mean, we may have discussed that we did it there, but it was not part of the Scalar
Okay.
discussion.
So basically, the error is we didn't put them in Greater Woods, we put them in Sklar when it first opened.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
and they were put there, and they were put there by the police, as it says.
Okay.
That's all I got. That it? You good?
Anything else? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes as amended? Karis? Okay. All opposed? All abstaining? Motion passes 6-0-0. So that takes us to adjournment. Does anyone have any concluding comments? No, in that case, meeting is adjourned at 8:27 PM.